Welcome to CSBJ Radio. CSBJ Radio is the premier online business talk radio show in the Southeast. CSBJ proactively connects, informs, and engages its listeners in all aspects of small business. Discover the entrepreneur in you with CSBJ Radio. Now, here's your host, Greg Wilson.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another edition of CSBJ Radio. I am your host, Greg Wilson, publisher of Connections Small Business Journal. We're located online, www.connectionssbj.com. Again, you can find us online at www.connectionssbj.com. You can take a look at several of the articles. You can read the journal online. You can connect with us on Facebook. Listen to this radio show on our website again, which is www.connectionssbj.com. And as always, we are very thankful for our show sponsor. Our show sponsor for this particular podcast, once again, is Supreme Fast Tax. We appreciate Willie Granville and the team there at Supreme Fast Tax, located there on Winton Road. Always just look for the red roof. And as we go through this podcast today, we will hear their commercial again. Again, we're very appreciative of Supreme Fast Tax and their sponsorship of today's show. Speaking of taxes, we are rapidly approaching April 15th, the tax deadline for this year. And I know that this may not be a tax issue, but for all small business owners, I do want to let you guys know that Brian Kemp, who is the Georgia Secretary of State, actually extended the deadline for corporate registrations, all right, which normally takes place, or the registration deadline normally for a corporate registration is April the 1st. However, this year it's been extended for about 30 days, from April the 1st until May 31st. So if you are looking to register your corporate entity, if you're looking to register your small business, if you're looking to register an LLC, again, that deadline has been extended through the 31st of this year. You can visit the Georgia Secretary of State website, www.sos.ga.gov. Again, that's www.sos.ga.gov. And one of the reasons that they actually extended this year, this extra 30 days, and this is not going to be a yearly occurrence, it's just this year, due to the implementation of an upgrade to the corporate division website. All right, so they delayed the filing for the annual registrations online, and it's just going to allow filers an extension in filing the 2013 annual registration. They truly believe that it's in the public interest. We agree. As a small business owner, we agree. So again, we appreciate even our Secretary of State here in the state of Georgia, Brian Kemp, for extending that registration period through the 31st. Again, May 31st, 2013 is a deadline for corporate registrations for this year. Today's show, we're going to talk about, social media excuses, and maybe we're going to look at a few, excuses that small businesses actually use for not having a social media presence. I was in a business today, for example, won't necessarily call the name of the business, but I was in a business here in Columbus, Georgia today. And this business does not have a social media presence at all. No Facebook page, no Twitter page, no Pinterest page, no LinkedIn page, absolutely nothing. We're running a special, and was totally relying on word of mouth, all right, to get people to come into this particular business. Folks, if we are in a small business, it is imperative that we have a social media presence. It's just amazing to see how quickly social media has taken off, the amount of reach, if done correctly, the amount of reach that your small business can have in the social media arena. But today, again, we want to take a look at some excuses for some companies not necessarily having a social media presence. There are other businesses even here locally that don't have a social media presence and are doing quite well, but they could be they could acquire new customers if there was a social media presence. One of the biggest excuses that I truly think that businesses have, they don't believe that they're going to be able to control the conversation. They don't believe that they're going to be able to control what someone posts, utilizing their Facebook page, for example. And before we get into this particular excuse, I do want to say that I'm not just strictly an advocate or an advertiser, if you will, for Facebook. Do I use Facebook? Absolutely. Do I think it's essential? Absolutely. But you as a small business owner, you're going to have to make the decision to see which which social media platform is going to work best for you. You're going to have to say, hey, will it be best if I have a Twitter account? If I'm maybe a graphic designer or an event planner, a wedding coordinator or whatever, then maybe it's going to be in my best interest to have a Pinterest account, and build your social media presence off of that. Google Plus, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter again, YouTube, having a YouTube account. These are social media platforms that you can use to advance and grow your business. All of them won't necessarily be necessary for your particular business. Okay, so I'm going to start talking about Facebook, of course, but again, I'm not just saying, hey, only have a Facebook account or don't have a Facebook account. That is not what I'm saying today. But one of the biggest excuses that I hear quite often, even from a secular or a church standpoint, is, hey, we won't be able to control the conversation. What if someone has something negative to say? So, what about if somebody gets on this particular page and just says a bunch of negative stuff? Well, the truth is, you're absolutely right. You won't be able to control the conversation. And I would dare say that with technology the way that it is today, even without a social media presence, you still are not going to be able to control conversations that are being had about your particular business entity, whatever it is. If you are a car mechanic, and something goes wrong with a particular customer, you're not going to be able to prevent that customer from getting on the phone, talking to some of their friends or their circle of friends, and literally bad mouthing and having a lot of negative stuff to say about your business. All right, but that doesn't mean that the conversation again isn't happening. Utilizing these social media tools, are you going to have the ability to keep track of these conversations and make amends for it? I tell people all the time that negative feedback is okay. We're in business, and in a perfect world, maybe we could satisfy and make every customer completely happy. But you're going to run into those far and in between situations where you've done all that you can do, and this customer is still upset. This customer is still having something negative to say. Well, in those cases, immediate feedback would be beneficial to you. It shows that you are proactive. It shows that you're willing to make amends, wherever necessary. Even to use social media to explain your side of the problem. Sometimes, coming from a customer standpoint, it's only one-sided. But hey, social media allows you as a small business owner to share your side of the story. So again, do not hide from negative feedback. Negative feedback is okay. Again, you're not going to be able to necessarily control the conversation per se, but you can, add your own side to it. You can add your own spin on it, if you will, to further your product, to further your brand. The next one I would say is that we don't have time to do social media. We're just slammed. We're so busy. We don't have time to do social media marketing. All right. Well, congratulations on being busy. Congratulations. That really means that, hey, your company is doing well, that you have customers. But by you saying that you don't have time to do social media marketing, you essentially are saying that you don't have time to further market your business. Okay, so how in the world do we expect to get new sales? How do we expect to stay in business? Those are some questions that we would need to ask ourselves. We could continue to spend money in the yellow pages. We can continue to spend money maybe on television. We can continue to spend money maybe even on the radio. But social media, having a social media presence, is the cheapest, most inexpensive way outside of word of mouth to get the word out about your business. All right, so let's take time to do social media. There are tools out there. There's Gremlin, for example, Hootsuite, TweetDeck. These are certain tools that are out there that can help you even promote your social media in a timely fashion. Just to give you an example, let's say that on a Sunday, you can sit down, type up your post for a week, 2 weeks. You can 2 weeks out and schedule these posts using some of those tools. Facebook even now has the ability within Facebook itself for you to actually time stamp your post. TweetDeck, exact same thing. Hootsuite, Gremlin, these are other tools that are out there that will enable you, again, to effectively have time to do social media marketing. So social media marketing is not an everyday thing, or should not be an everyday thing. I mean, I would agree that, hey, I don't have time to do it every day. But if we take the time to maybe put some posts in a particular platform that will allow, like again, using the example of a Sunday, I can sit down, type up my tweets for a week on Sunday. I can take an hour and type up my tweets for a week, schedule these tweets, schedule these posts to go out at a predetermined time throughout the week, and you're done. So again, let's take time to do social media marketing. All right, we have to take time to further market our business. My customers don't use the internet. Really? How certain are you, or how certain are we that our customers are not utilizing the internet? I'm just amazed when I go into some coffee shops and I see even just an older clientele being more media savvy, more computer savvy. They have their iPads, they have their tablets, they are connected. They're connected to Wi-Fi, they're connected to the internet. All right. 80% of the United States population, 80% of our country's population is online. 80%. And this 80% includes people of all ages. This 80% includes some of your customers or some of your potential customers, all professions, genders. It doesn't matter. Everyone to some degree, less or greater, are actually online, utilizing the internet. All right. These are potential customers. These are your customers. Everyone knows how to go to google.com and type in, a particular search. You have more and more people getting on Twitter, more and more people posting and creating Facebook pages and for their businesses. All right. So it's, we need our customers are online. We need to have our business online to meet the needs of the customers that are potentially out there shopping, and they're actually shopping for you. Okay. Had an individual tell me that, okay, well, business doesn't necessarily happen online. They like the face-to-face interaction. And I agree that, hey, I want the face-to-face interaction. I thrive off of face-to-face interaction, but business takes place online as well. We cannot ignore that. We cannot ignore that, yes, certain businesses does, that actually takes place online. If you have, goods or services, if you're selling T-shirts, for example, if you're selling, if you're, drop shipping something, then yes, your business does take place online. People are ordering from you, having products and services or products and goods shipped to their address. Yes, business does take place online. But even if I'm not in the selling business, even if I just have a service-based business or a service-based entity, business still takes place online. Yes, I want that face-to-face interaction. Yes, I want that content, or that contact rather. But that customer found me, or could potentially find me, online. All right. So we need to make sure that the prospect or that potential customer has become aware of you, and what better place to do it than on the internet? Where do they go to find out about your products? Where do they go to find out about your company? Where do they go to find out and read about certain testimonials that other customers have had to do business with you? All of that takes place online. So again, it's essential, it's critical for us to have our business online, because business does take place online. The days of picking up a phone to find out information about a company are just about over. They're few and far in between. But someone will go online. Someone will go to your website, www.whatever.com. Someone will go to google.com or Bing or Yahoo and type in some search words to potentially find your business. My point is, again, business does take place online, and those customers need to be able to find your business. All right. So at this time, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back after these few messages.
Does the thought of filing your taxes have you stressed? Supreme Fast Tax will take the headache out of doing your taxes. Your taxes will be filed error-free the first time and will include Protection Plus from IRS audits. Supreme Fast Tax prepares federal forms and state taxes for all 50 states. Visit us year-round for individual, joint, or small business taxes. Supreme Fast Tax offers convenient pickup and notary services. Get your free estimate today. Call Supreme Fast Tax, 706-507-1040.
All right, we're back here in the studio. And again, we're discussing today's social media excuses. Social media excuses. Some excuses that small business owners have as it relates to social media as to why they do or do not have a social media presence. And again, I truly think that it's imperative that we as small business owners have a very good social media presence, something that is working, a social media presence that's working. You may have to hire maybe a contractor or a freelancer, but again, having these social media or a social media presence is essential and critical for your small business. One of the other excuses is, how do we know if social media is actually going to produce a return? How will you know? Well, you won't know unless you try it, number one. But if you're smart, you're going to measure, your social media efforts or your social media marketing efforts, against some pretty established objectives, like you would any other, marketing effort. If a radio station comes to you and say, hey, we're number one in your particular area, for country music, or we're number one in your area for hip hop music, and you sign a contract with them, you'll be able to immediately begin to see a return on that investment. You're going to be able to immediately say, hey, you know what? I had a radio remote, and as a result of the radio remote, 20 people came into my retail establishment. You'll be able to see that. You'll be able to, it's tangible. The other thing is, the other side to that coin is, if no one shows up, then, hey, I did not receive a return on my investment. All right. So over time, we're going to get smarter about how to use social media in all of your marketing efforts. One thing that you can do even is to maybe have giveaways, if you will, or a percentage off, and strictly do this through social media. Okay. And I truly believe that you'll begin to see that the results will speak for themselves. But one thing is for certain, one thing is definitely for certain, about the social media marketing producing a return. If you don't do it, you'll have zero return. If you don't do it, you'll have zero return on your investment, on your social media marketing investment. So again, these are some things today that we just wanted to talk about, having a social media presence. Again, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but it's critical that your small business has a social media marketing presence. All right. You need a Facebook account. You need a Twitter account. You need a Pinterest account, and you need to effectively, as a small business owner, you need to effectively use these social media marketing tools that are out there. And right now, for the most part, they're free. So what better way of getting a message out about your goods your services, your products, your company, your reputation than by having a social media presence that people are following, people are engaged in, people are responding to. You're actually reaching people. Now, I was looking at a statistic earlier this week. A particular Facebook page that I created received 1,500. It reached 1,500 people in like 4 or 5 days. That's phenomenal. You're not going to knock on 1,500 doors in 5 days. It's just not going to happen. This particular page reached over 1,500 people in about 5 days. What does that say for your business? Is your business, is your church, is your nonprofit organization reaching the masses? Is it reaching people in a great way, and not breaking your budget? And social media is definitely the way to get that done. So again, today we just wanted to talk about small business excuses and what we can do to overcome these excuses. Again, I'm Greg Wilson. We appreciate you tuning in. Greg Wilson with Connection Small Business Journal. We appreciate you tuning in. You can find us again at www.connectionssbj.com. Again, that's connectionssbj.com. We are very excited about some things that are even coming down the pipeline with Connections SBJ. But just find us. Find us on the internet. If you see value in this, we really encourage you to even spread the word. We invite you even on Mondays to our our CSBJ Power Hour. We have this event every Monday from 1 to 3, currently at the Iron Bank Coffee downtown. Iron Bank Coffee is located at the corner of 11th and Broadway. 11th and Broadway, every Monday from 1 to 3. Be connected to people, resources, and information with CSBJ.